Joining us here in studio at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange for more on the I3 Summit is Raffaele Della, Croce, the lead manager of long-term investment project at the OECD. Related, I suppose, in some way to your former central bank governor, who's now the ECB central bank governor. Are you proud of the way that he's operating?
Well, he has some issues there. He's facing a challenging situation. Which is also the scope of the work that actually we have undertaken at the OECD. Coming out from 6 years on after the largest financial crisis in our lifetime, we are locked, the world is locked in a low yield environment. And despite the fact that US and UK may be the end is in sight for them, we're still facing deflation in the Eurozone, which the ECB rightly is trying to fight, as in Japan. And China with a hard landing and the emerging market more broadly with a slower growth as creating a big issue to policymakers, thinking about how do they promote growth, how do they sustain growth, and therefore the attention to investment, and specifically investment in infrastructure seems to be one of the topics to support growth.
We've seen it in South Africa where it has been put on the top of the agenda to get more money into infrastructure. We're struggling a little bit to execute. How about other parts of the world? Are the Europeans also putting infrastructure on the top of the agenda and in fact making it happen?
It is the top of the agenda of many countries. Effectively, the G20 leaders, the finance ministers, this year committed to an additional 2% of investment growth by 2018. And Australia, the presidency of G20, considered investment in infrastructure as the top priority. There are constraints. The public sources are constrained coming out from the financial crisis, but it's also the economic outlook not conducive to corporate investment. There are issues in the banking system, structural issues, the leveraging constraining growth, credit growth, but also new regulation. So we're looking for alternative sources of finance. And there, institutional investors, for example, are seen as a potential alternative source of finance for this kind of investments.
Now, you're here to talk to institutional investors, trustees, etc., at a very high-level conference, the Sanlam Investments Conference. What is the message you want to leave them with?
Well, institutional investors, such as pension funds and insurers, what they're seeing is this low-yield environment, the volatile stock markets on the other side. So what they want, what they need is some long-term investment opportunities, stable, predictable, potentially inflation-linked, able to match their long-term liabilities. So the real economy, real asset, infrastructure investments could be theoretically the perfect match. In reality, this is not happening, or at least not at the level we would like to see. Very little investment is directly flowing into infrastructure. We've been trying to measure and to monitor the situation at the OECD. And there is a series of barriers, of course. There's not one barrier. And there is work being developed at the G20 level, at the OECD, to try to find solutions to these major barriers.